I'm Trevor.
And I'm Connor.
We did the Devonian time period.
The time period lasted from 405 to 345 million years ago.
The start of the Devonian period happened because 60% of marine species was wiped out at the end of the Silurian period. The Silurian period had a strong diversification of jawed and bony fish. This would lead us to know why the Devonian period was also known as the Age of Fish.
During the Devonian period, there were two supercontinents, Gondwana and Eurymerica. These land masses were near each other in a single hemisphere. Eurymerica was created by the collision of Laurentia and Baltica. The collision of Laurentia and Baltica caused the creation of the Appalachian and Caledonian Mountains. Oceans covered 85% of Devonian Earth. The Panthalassa, Paleothesis, Protothesis, Rhenic Ocean, and Ural Ocean were the major oceans in the Devonian time period.
The Devonian period was a very warm period. It lacked glaciers, and the temperature gradient from the equator to the poles was not as large as it is today, meaning it was hot all around. The climate had an effect on the dominant organisms in reefs. In warm times, microbes would be dominant. In colder times, corals and stromatoporoid sponges would be dominant. The warming may have even caused the extinction of the sponges.
CO2 levels dropped steeply throughout the Devonian period. This is because of the new forests drew CO2 out of the air. At the same time, O2 levels raised because of the new forest.
Millipedes, centipedes, and arachnids continue to diversify during the Devonian period. Fossil records show evidence that there are two new groups of fish with true bones, teeth, swim bladders, and gills. They were ray-finned fish and lobe-finned fish. Ray-finned fish were more modern-like fish, and lobe-finned were more fleshy or muscular fish that were capable of breathing through spiracles in the skull. Early tetrapods evolved from lobe-finned fishes, able to use their muscular fins to take advantage of the predator-free and food-rich environment of the new wetland ecosystems. Dated from the mid-Devonian, this fossil creature is considered to be the link between the lobe-finned fishes and early amphibians. Tiktaalik was probably most aquatic, walking on bottom of shallow water estuaries. In the oceans, brachiopods flourished. Crinoids and other echinoderms, tabulated and rose corals, and ammonites were also common. Many new kinds of fish appeared.
Lycophades, horsetails, and ferns grew to large sizes and formed the Earth's first forest. The first trees successfully grew by the end of the Devonian period. Plants increased the O2 levels in the atmosphere. This may have contributed to the cooling climate at the end of the Devonian period.
Fossils themselves cannot be dated radiometrically. Scientists must use information from fossils and radiometric dates from rock layers above and below the fossils to answer the question of how old a fossil is. Basically, rock layers are formed above and below fossils, are radiometrically dated to find out how old a fossil is. Scientists have determined that almost all of the rocks near the surface in central New York were formed in the Devonian time period.
The close of the Devonian period is considered to be the second of the Big Five mass extinction events of Earth history. Rather than a single event, it is known to have at least two prolonged episodes of species depletion and several shorter periods. The Casswaller event of the late Middle Devonian was largely responsible for the demise of the great coral reefs, the jawless fishes, and the trilobites. The Hagenberg event at the Devonian Carboniferous boundary killed the placoderms and most of the annelids. Cause of the extinction are debated but may be related to the cooling climate from CO2 depletion caused by the first forest. Although up to 70% of invertebrate species died, terrestrial plants and animals were largely unaffected by these extinction events.
This marks the end of the Devonian period and the beginning of the Carboniferous period.